Duramax engine being pulled out right now. Lb7 engine. So, taking this front radiator support off, it's a lot easier and safer to remove the engine because you're keeping the engine lower to the ground instead of lifting it all the way up here when it's fully dressed, because it can be pretty heavy when you have the heads on it and everything. Exhaust is disconnected. Gotta disconnect all the electrical from the front support, take the radiator out, all the air intake and hoses and stuff are taken out, and then have to take the steering lines out. Steering shaft can get out of the way because it can bump into it and damage that. It's safe to take it out if you don't want to risk damaging it. If you want, disconnect this ground, these fuel lines, cut them off or disconnect them. If they're being replaced, you can just cut them. And then the electrical here that's connected, anything that's connected to the frame or the fuse box here, that can be disconnected. And then we got the mounting bolts on each side. There's 3 here, and on the other side the same thing. And then the starter's got to be taken out and remove the flywheel bolts and rotate the torque converter, which you do from the side and underneath the truck. And then the transmission bell housing mounting bolts that mount to the back of the engine will also have to be removed, and then some chains or straps can be put on the engine in secure locations and start lifting up the engine. And the engine's drained as well of the fluids, so that'll save some weight as well. And then after that, got the little chipmunk here, and the engine can be pulled out with an engine lift, one that's strong enough. And then it's easier to do the head gaskets replacement and reseal the entire engine, bottom end of it, all the oil seals and stuff, all that's already out, especially if it's a 4-wheel drive. And if you're going to do that to the engine, the head gaskets, you might as well just take it out. It's easy enough to just reseal the entire engine, then you have a nice, pretty much brand new engine if it's got good pistons and stuff, piston rings. There's not much else that can get worn out or damaged other than the pistons. And then you got a pretty much brand new engine for another 500,000 or plus kilometers, as long as it's got the oil changed regularly and stuff. So that's what's going to be done. It's going to have ARP head studs on it, which are higher tensile strength than the stock ones. So the head gaskets, with the upgraded head gaskets, the grade C ones, your head gaskets are most likely never going to have to be redone ever again. And if you're adding higher horsepower as well. Now if the truck one runs okay already, the injectors are most likely okay. And just clean them up when you take them out. That's what the bodywork looked like before. And these are some custom fabricated panels I made here on this side. These copper lines aren't any good. Like, any copper touching any other metal, it'll corrode the metal, the copper. So I don't see how that's a good idea at all.
Maybe if it got painted or something, that'd be better.
Soon that would rub a hole through there too. Back frame is painted up with some rust paint. Have the differential cover installed. It's higher capacity, which is good. Can take more heat exchange and damage to the fluid from driving it with the bigger larger quantity of fluid in there. The box is painted as well, and then all the rust repairs on that side there, end of that channel, will get fixed, and then the cab corners and rockers will also get fixed in the bottom of the doors, and then the box can be put on and this fuel sending unit can be replaced also. It's not showing, it's been worn out. There's a little rust spot here, it'll have to be repaired. And the front suspension, upper control arms, and shocks and torsion keys will be put in also once the engine's taken out, and then it can be lifted up when it's got some lighter weight to it. And I use these medical gloves and put them all over all the open holes and stuff, electrical connections, keep it dry, keep it clean when it's being done outside. The connector is upwards and covered with the hood, and the hood also doesn't have to be taken off when you take this front radiator cover off, radiator support. And then the truck can be painted all together when it's put together. Paint it in the garage here. Got a new paint gun, nice paint gun. And this box will also be taken off, do the fuel sending unit, and do the bodywork and paint the frame. Cab is pretty good. The bottom parts can be painted, but this truck won't really fit in this garage with the cab on it, so just take the box off and do it in here. And here's some of the truck parts: Molly gasket set, ARP, bolts and studs, rough country front suspension parts, new coolant reservoir, the other one's dirty from the blown head gaskets, and the 4600 trophy truck Segola spray gun. Have the painting plastic here and paint cups, 5-inch Flow Pro exhaust. Also a Sinister diesel air intake, PPV. Intake horn, exhaust tip, masking tape, and regulator valve for the spray gun as well. So you gotta be prepared. You gotta know how much things will cost, or else you may not anticipate how much money you will be requiring to rebuild a truck like this, or increase the power of it, the efficiency of it with new parts, because this just makes the engine run a lot better. Doing upgrades like the parts that were just shown there and redoing the engine, you'll have a good truck, good engine. Redoing the brakes and stuff, and get it okay. Where'd he go? Doing the brakes, all that, brake lines, just the regular stuff, suspension parts, fuel line, alternator, starter, power steering can go out sometimes, just the regular stuff. It's not overwhelming, it's just a regular, it's not a Duramax engine. People get overwhelmed from the name. Since it's a Duramax diesel, it's just an Isuzu engine. It's made by Isuzu, so you're pretty much working with Japanese or that type of engine here. Just like any other engine. Very easy to work with once you take one apart and understand it. Very efficient to increase the power as well and make it fuel efficient. So that's what's nice about these engines. They're very good. And this one doesn't have emissions on it, but even when they do have emissions on it, you can just remove all those systems and really mix them, just bring it back to the basic engine like this. Most of the parts are the same. Lower engine blocks are pretty much the same. The way it works is it's a Duramax model of the Isuzu, so it's making maximum amount of power that it efficiently can. And the glow plugs as well. They can get dirty, rusty, and break off when you're taking apart the engine. The bolts for the flywheel can be replaced as well if you want, or put some lot of Loctite on it. The interior stinks like cigarettes and stuff, but it's gotten cleaned up. Slowly it'll go away, the smell. And these lower hinges were taken off, deleted here. You just got the solo one at the front. When you close the door, it's got another one here, so still got 2 locks for the back doors. But these were just closed, seized up, and you couldn't even open the doors. I had to cut them in here. But they're pretty secure now. Could have a bit of adjusting up here. Other than that, it's pretty tight. Be nice if these windows went down in the back though, because these cabs get pretty hot. Like the air doesn't flow very well versus these windows having all the windows down. But that's what air conditioning's for. But that'd be nice if you converted that. And you can put the back window conversion to make it slide down. I've seen that done before. Panoramic or just regular sunroof also. But the most beneficial and the best part is redoing the engine, painting the frame, bodywork, all your mechanical stuff and cosmetic stuff, paint, and you got a nice, good brand new truck.